So
that'd be your fourth pug?
yes.
Gotcha.
And had to put one down a year and a half ago that was her friend.
Okay.
So then I got this guy, not as like an impulse, but I got him a year and a half in January.
Okay.
And from the minute I got him, he's had this reactive behavior.
Okay.
And I think it's purely fear-based.
Okay. What makes you say that?
Just the circumstances.
Okay.
And, well, just to give you an example, too, as I was walking here, I parked on Lincoln.
Yeah.
When he's in an uncomfortable situation, he'll, like, pancake himself on the ground.
Sure.
And he did that twice, just from the walk there to here.
Okay.
And if people go to touch him and put their hands out, there are times when he'll growl and try to bite.
Okay.
He hasn't actually ever bitten anybody, but the hair's up, the teeth are out, the growling. I mean, he will do everything
to scare them away.
Yeah.
I gotcha. How old is he?
He's a year and a half.
Year and a half, and he's been doing this since I think 3 months is what I saw. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So definitely, my book, genetic. There's nothing that you did wrong.
I think it is too. I know. And he can be the sweetest, like, loving dog. But and he's also really smart.
Okay.
So he remembers certain people.
Sure.
For example, my daughter-in-law.
Okay.
And every time he sees her, it's the same thing. He will attack her.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he's seen her since he was a puppy.
She lives in New York.
Okay.
But so every time she comes in, like last week, did the same thing.
Okay. So like right now, because I'm in your personal space, and he's being curious, I'm ignoring him, obviously.
Exactly.
Right? So it's like he's fine
and that's
with these
what I tell everyone to do.
But the moment they start to put social pressure is when he reacts.
Yep.
I gotcha. The pancaking thing, even since he was a puppy?
No, this is a new behavior.
Okay. When did it start, would you say?
About 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
5 weeks ago.
Okay, so around
And then if you like coax him up or carry him across the street, he's generally fine from that point on.
I gotcha. And I saw you did some training. Now, the training you did, was it because you wanted to help the behavior, or was it just the typical training?
Both. He took a puppy class at Petco when he was, and I did that in the suburbs with one of my other dogs too. Very efficient, great behavioral stuff, and he did really well in the class. Although the second to last class, he tried to bite the trainer.
Okay.
He was exhausted, very overstimulated, and she went to pick him up, and he's like snarling and did his thing.
Not having it. Okay.
Yeah.
What was she doing in the earlier classes?
Not really touching him.
Okay. Was it just like coming in close, give a treat type of stuff?
Exactly.
And then when she went to close the gap, he escalated. Okay.
Yeah.
What happened for your last class?
He was fine.
Okay. But she didn't try to pick him up?
No.
Okay. So it's definitely the touch that's the biggest trigger.
And somebody said to me, it's like he's a little, first of all, he's small for a pug, especially a male pug. Picture a giant coming and trying to grab you.
For sure.
It's threatening to him.
Yep. What's your goal? Like, what are you trying to achieve here?
To just stop this behavior and maybe train me to deal with him while he's doing it.
Okay.
Because my reaction is like, no, and grab him out of whatever situation.
Okay.
And I've also had a couple of trainers that claimed they specialize in this behavior. One came with hawk gloves on and a muzzle.
Yeah.
And he was 6 months old.
Sure.
And it didn't help at all.
Okay.
Plus it was crazy expensive.
Okay.
Then another was squirting water in his face and shaking a plastic container of coins.
Sure, whenever he'd act that way.
Yeah, and again, it was probably the opposite of what he needed. Instead of reassuring him, it just wasn't helpful.
The trainer with the hot gloves, did they use any kind of correctional device?
No.
Training tool?
They wanted a prong collar, but again, he was a 6-month-old pug. So no, and he did, when they went to pick him up, he did get aggressive.
Yeah, and did they just try to ride it out until he calmed down?
Yeah, I mean, they held him and then walked him back and forth, and he did settle down.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
Just wasn't helpful.
How'd you find out about us?
My oldest son, married to the girl who he tries to bite every time, was like, you've got to put this dog down, and this is crazy, and if you're not going to put him down, here are some trainers in your area.
Okay.
So he found you.
Okay.
I was like, I am not putting him down. You don't even live here, so
Sure.
yeah. But if my kids have kids, I have people over all the time, I need to not worry that there's going to be something that sets them off.
I gotcha. Okay. Did you read up how we train dogs, the methods that we use?
I read some of it. I
Okay.
didn't go through the whole thing.
No worries. I'm going to explain everything
Okay.
just to get an idea of where
Perfect.
you're at. Okay?
Right.
So all great information.
Perfect.
So I specialize in stuff like this. I will give you realistic expectations, and then you decide, of course, what you want to do from there.
Perfect.
So I use tools like prong and e-collar.
Okay.
I don't really do prong as much anymore. Did you see a big Mastiff walk through here by chance?
No,
Okay.
and I grew up with bull mastiffs, so
Okay.
that's so funny.
So I have a client that came from Vegas. They found us while
Right.
they were in Vegas because they were moving here.
Right.
They have both human and dog reactive Mastiff.
Okay.
Big guy.
Yeah.
So we went a walk through. We went through the farmer's market. He was great.
Okay.
But they had walked. I thought that they walked this way. So you may have just missed him or whatever.
Right.
But this is what I specialize in. But that dog, because he's so big, is on a prong and
I
e-collar.
get it.
Right.
I get it.
A guy like this, we can get away with no prong. I rarely, if ever, use prong. It's mainly in cases like that.
I
Okay?
get it. Right.
But e-collar is my primary training tool.
Right.
Are you familiar with the technology?
Generally, not specifically.
Okay. So a lot of people call it like a shock collar.
Right.
Right. It's not electrocution.
Right.
Have you ever been to
It's
a
just
physical
enough
therapist?
to like, right.
Have you ever been to a physical therapist or
Yeah.
a chiropractor? Yes.
Yes.
Have you ever had stim therapy?
No.
The machine that moves the
did
muscles?
I? Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Right. So it's like that little jolt.
Yes. It's a
Right.
muscle stimulator.
Right.
That's an e-collar.
Okay.
Okay. The technology is very similar. The way
Right.
that the stim is delivered is different.
Right.
For humans, it works continuously.
Right.
In some kind of pulsating effect.
Right.
Because it's meant to either ease muscle pain, tension, scar tissue.
Right.
There's even now they have a needle that they poke through the skin to
Right.
target the specific muscle.
Right.
Right. It's the same thing except on a collar.
Right.
And ours is controlled completely by the human.
Okay.
Right. There's two different functions. One is called a nick function, which is a pre-timed sensation.
Right.
After it happens, nothing else happens.
Right.
Then there's continuous, which holds until you release, and then it of course stops, and then nothing else happens until you press
Okay.
it again. Okay. So the reason why I use these training tools is it's the easiest for anybody to kind of pick up and learn. It's very logic based.
Right.
It doesn't matter the size of the dog. So in this
Right.
case, I had that big old
Right,
Mastiff.
right.
And they had already spent, I think, like $6,000 to $8,000 on training before.
My
that did
gosh.
not work, by the way.
Right.
So, and then today they were here and they were very happy because they're like, this is super busy, lots
Yep.
of dogs.
Yep.
And our dogs
And
are
that's why I
behaving.
thought this was a great place
Yes.
too. And he's generally fine with dogs. I take him to these monthly pug meetups. He
Sure.
goes to daycare occasionally,
Yeah.
and he's totally fine with other dogs.
Yeah.
Unless they're aggressive to him, then
Which makes sense if he's defensive.
yeah,
Right.
he thinks.
So his issue is what we'd call like touch sensitivity. Like
Right.
he doesn't want to be touched. He doesn't want to be picked up by anybody. Essentially, it's like not you, right?
Right.
So what the e-collar allows us to do is to apply an aversive
Right.
when we see something we don't want.
Okay.
So with positive reinforcement training, which is what you did with the Petco trainer,
Right.
is what she's trying to do is change the dog's underlying emotional response. Okay. Essentially, every time they come in, they give the dog a treat, and the dog starts to associate, oh, when you come into my personal space, good things happen.
Right.
Problem is, let's say he, one, really just doesn't want anybody to touch him.
Right.
Well, food goes out the window as soon as you touch him.
Right.
Because nobody can make him want that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Or if that did work, okay, you did one person, getting it to work with the next person, they have to repeat the same process.
Right.
And like no one's gonna do that.
Right.
Right? Like it's too much
Right.
effort on their part.
Right. And no one's carrying around dog treats 24
Correct. And then
hours
there's
a
the
day.
whole the calories and like how much is the dog eating.
And his
the
jaw,
weight.
his belly can be a little sensitive.
Yeah. So there's all that stuff too,
Right.
right? So the other trainer with the hawk gloves was on the right track. However, you didn't like the prong collar. Now, in that case, I wouldn't
Well,
use
and the muzzle and the whole, there's a lot going on.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the prong collar makes sense because that's the aversive.
Right.
My problem with the prong collar is that who's going to do the correction, right? So like, I don't
Right.
think that you're going to do the correction.
Right.
It's probably going to come back to the person who's doing the hawk gloves.
Right.
But if he really is scared, if I'm touching him and then he's defending himself and then I correct him for defending himself, it kind of reinforces the fact that he should be afraid of me. Does that make
See,
sense?
that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
That and the guy with the water and the shaking the coins, he went up to him and like grabbed his face to try to get a reaction. which I understand. Like, you want to see the behavior to correct it.
Yeah.
But then it was just so negative, and it was just constantly squirting him in the face and shaking these, and it just didn't, again, wasn't helpful.
Yeah, it's negative experience on top of negative experience.
Right.
Right. So the thing about remote collar or e-collar is the dog doesn't know where it's coming from.
Right.
Right.
So he just,
yes,
right.
and because I would do the same thing. I either use my what's called a bite sleeve, or I have the same hot gloves.
Right. No, I get
do
it.
The touch.
And it wasn't even that was the issue. It was just everything else.
There's a lot. Yes.
Right.
So what I start with first is just touch, see what happens, right? And then if I have to push, I have to push. But I've not ever pinched the dog's cheeks. I've almost always seen the reaction, just like doing regular touch stuff.
Right.
But
and
I
don't blame you for wearing. No one wants to get bitten.
Correct.
I'm a lawyer. I don't want that liability either.
Sure. So, so they were kind of on the right track, but like not doing it correctly, in my opinion.
Right.
Okay. Now, even if we do these exercises, you have to still repeat them.
Of course.
They don't just carry over.
Right.
Realistically speaking, like with your daughter, right? Could he open up to your daughter and learn to like her? Yes.
Right.
It's realistic because that's someone he would see on a recurring basis. But if the frequency is once a year, it's it's going to take for like a long time.
Right.
If you saw her once a week, once a month, that's a bit easier.
More consistent.
Yes.
Right.
However, anybody else, random stranger, random person that walks in your house, I tell them, don't touch my dog.
And he also gets territorial around my front door. He has a little bed there, and if he's startled, that can like start some behavior.
Okay.
And the reason he chooses her is when he was a puppy and she first came in, her family's got a big lab. She's like, hi, and ran over to him and wanted to grab. I mean, he was a puppy and he's cute and I get it. And I was like, please don't do that. And every time I say, please don't do it, she continues to do it.
Correct. Yeah.
So, and now he's like, sees her and just associates that's what he's going to do. Yeah.
Yes. So, that's why I was like, there's expectation. There's like a realistic expectations, right?
Right. If you saw her frequently and we could work on it, I get it.
Yes. Now we can always correct things, right? So like, let's say, because the bare minimum I always tell clients to worry about is coexistence.
Yep.
Coexistence is people can come over, dog minds their business.
Exactly.
People mind their business.
Yep.
We're out in the real world, dog minds their business, right?
And he's generally pretty good. I had 10 people for dinner last weekend, and we were in and out of the house a million times and cooking and up on my deck, and he was totally fine. Zero, like, issues with anybody. So.
But they all ignored him.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So that's the thing. As long as people are ignoring him, like, it's fine.
Right.
It's when the social pressure is when he's like, I don't want that, right?
Right.
So that's why I was like, we can't make him want it.
No.
However, if there's someone that he's interacting with, like, for example, I have a client. She came from Texas.
Right.
She has a German Shepherd, multiple trainers, and then she found us by indirectly because we had a seminar for another trainer, and she happened to be there, and then.
Oh, I thought that was a Mastiff. It's a Lab.
No. So we trained her dog.
Right.
And the number of times this has happened in my career is crazy, where it'll be a young lady with a dog that does not let them allow to have a social life. I train the dog, and then they find their first boyfriend, and like almost always they get married too. Like that's the next
so
thing.
Funny. I love that.
So
you're sort of like a matchmaker on the side.
To a degree, right?
I know.
So
facilitating that.
we trained Kodiak, and she's got her boyfriend now,
Right.
and they're doing great with each other. But she's had a couple of sessions where I showed the boyfriend and her, like, this is how we facilitate this kind of relationship, because that's what it is. It's a relationship.
Exactly.
If the dog trusts you, they will then welcome you. But if you don't know how to build that trust, you have a problem.
Yep.
So that's why for you, like with your family members, relatives, people he would see on a regular basis, if there's a significant other, all those people are within that realistic scope.
Yep.
But they also have to follow rules.
Yep.
Just because a dog begins to like us doesn't mean we can just do whatever we want with the dog.
Right.
Which is what gets people.
It just happened with my son. He lives in Chicago actually, and he came over, and Sheldon got his hair went up and he was starting to growl at him because my son was petting our other dog, and he got a little territorial and jealous.
Interesting. Okay.
And Jack's like, and he senses the fear in him too. It's like Jack was afraid of him, that he was going to do something, and then the more he was afraid, the more it kind of escalated.
Yeah.
And again, nothing happened. He's like, your dog's crazy, and which I'm not denying.
Yeah. No, I get it. I've seen this stuff.
I know. So what's your rate of success too?
It depends on the owner.
Right.
Yeah.
Like how willing you're.
I can come in and do a great job.
Right.
But if the owner's not, like, I'll show up
reinforcing it.
and they're like, Jesse, when you're here, the dog's really good. When you're gone, the dog's bad. And I'm like, that tells me you're not following through.
Exactly.
Right. So like,
Right.
let's say this is worst case scenario. Let's say we're correcting him on the collar and I find out maybe he needs max power. Okay. And our collars have 127 levels.
Right.
Okay, just to give you an idea.
Right.
Let's say that was worst case. And then, but I'm stopping the behavior and we're seeing progress and we're seeing him be able to tolerate more.
Right.
But then on your own, you're not doing that. Maybe you're only at 25 or 50.
Right.
Maybe even 80.
Right.
When I come back and I ask you like how'd it go, you're like, Jesse, it was a failure.
Right.
The first thing I'm going to ask is, what was your number?
Right.
And almost always people are like, well, I was at this number.
Right.
I was at that. I'm like, that's why
Right.
we're not making progress.
Exactly.
With this Mastiff, the reason why we were making progress is the last time I spoke to the owner, she told me the highest she went was 80, but she was
Right.
still struggling. So I said, okay, well, we're not going to start at 80 today. We went
Right.
to 85.
Right.
That 5-level difference was literally what allowed us to
Right.
walk this whole park with
Wow.
dogs. I even got
Interesting.
video of it. The
Wow.
dog didn't do a thing.
Okay.
That 5-level difference, right? And
Right.
it wasn't that they were holding themselves back.
Right.
It was just that they didn't want to make a mistake.
I get it.
You know?
I get it. Yeah.
But if we're not willing to do that, we make no progress.
Right.
And it's hard for people to understand that we're using pain, discomfort to create trust, because those
Right.
things seem opposing.
Right. Right.
It's because, one, dogs are physical creatures.
Yep.
He's giving you a great example. He's going, don't touch me.
Right.
Right? He's using his teeth. That's the
Right.
physicality.
Right.
So think of the e-collar as a bite on the button. I'm biting
Okay.
him
Right.
back for
Right.
biting me.
Right.
Right.
No,
Now,
I
let's
get
say-
it. That makes sense.
Let's say he is fear-based, right?
Right.
We have to confront the fear,
Right.
which is the touch.
Right.
It's going to look bad. I'm going
Right.
to correct it. But once he comes back to stability
Right.
and I'm touching him, he
Right.
realizes like, oh, you're not hurting me.
Right.
Like there's nothing
Right.
to be scared of.
Right.
But there has to be something that snaps the dog out of
Right.
the fear.
Right. And that cycle.
Yes, and that's where the physicality, because that's
Yep.
what another dog would do. They would bite him back.
Yep.
If he bit a dog for something, they go, okay, I'm going to bite you back for
Exactly.
doing that. And then they decide who's going to win.
That's the animal behavior.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but it's the human component of like, oh, you're shocking the dog, right? Or like the prong collar. You know why it looks that way?
No.
It's meant to mimic a dog bite.
Right. Okay.
It's teeth.
Right.
It's
Oh,
teeth.
interesting. You're
But
right.
if you look at it as
Yeah.
that's painful,
Right,
You're just
right.
you're just stabbing the dog with sharp objects,
Right.
I go, no, it's meant to mimic a dog bite.
Right. And this wasn't even one with the metal prongs. It was one of those plastic
Oh,
sort
like
of
the
shark
triangles?
teeth.
Yeah. That's a star mark collar.
Right.
Same concept.
Right. Exactly.
Same concept.
And I wasn't worried about that at all. That was like the least of it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just everything all at once.
No, I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like for me, even I know what the problem is. That's not the first thing that we cover.
Right.
Okay. The first thing that we always cover is leash walking, even if there's no pulling and stuff.
Right.
Because it's what sets the foundation of what is the e-collar communicating.
Yep.
Right. The dog has to understand it first.
Right.
And then once we get that down, then I go, okay, now we can begin targeting behaviors.
Okay.
And then I do touch stuff and things
Right.
like that, right?
Okay.
But I want the dog to understand that the collar turns on for certain things and
Right.
it turns off.
Okay.
So he starts to realize that he controls it essentially.
Right.
Right? Like I
Okay.
know if I don't run a red light, I
Right.
don't get a $100 red light camera ticket.
Exactly. There's a consequence.
Yes. But
And
as a human, I can be aware of those things.
And he is really smart too. I used to have those recorded buttons on the floor, yellow, green,
Oh, sure,
red.
sure, yeah.
And he would go over and tap the appropriate one for everything he needed. I mean, I've never had a dog do that either.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So this isn't about intelligence.
No, I know. But
This is-
sometimes I think that almost makes things harder for him
How
because
so?
he's so aware of.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, when we're dealing with behavior, so the difference between like obedience behavior is look at obedience as like education for human, math, English, science, and look at behavior as morality, right?
Right.
Don't jump, don't bark, don't bite, don't lie,
Right.
don't steal, don't cheat.
Right.
And
right.
they don't
right.
correlate.
Okay.
Right? Like a person can be a genius in math but be a terrible person.
Exactly.
Or they could be a not very smart person but be like a very good person.
Exactly. That's interesting. I like that analogy.
Yeah, it's the same thing with dogs.
Right.
They could be. I get clients with their dogs with like 100 tricks,
Right.
all these fancy things.
Right.
But I try to bite people.
Right.
And I'm like, right.
Right. It's not the same.
They don't
right.
relate to each other.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
get it.
There needs
okay.
to be a consequence for the behaviors that we're trying to deter.
Right. Right.
But then in this case, if it is fear-based, we have to address the fear. We have to build trust. We have to build like you don't have to be scared. but we have to confront the fear first, correct the behaviors that we don't want,
Right.
to open them up to like, oh, okay, like,
even if I'm afraid, that's not what I'm going to do.
And eventually the dog learns there's no need to reason to be afraid.
Right.
Now, again, this is, you know, if we're repeating this exercise with people that we know, it's easier because it's not relying on food. And then typically, once I get the blunt of it, everybody else after that tends to be much easier.
Okay.
Okay. Once we get the dog over the worst of it.
Right.
Right. It's like, okay, I did it once.
Right.
And then we do a new person. It might be a little hard. Okay.
Right.
We get through that. The next person, easy. Next person, easy.
Right.
It starts to just kind of snowball. Okay.
Okay.
But this is, again, contingent on, is the owner doing the homework?
I get it.
But also, is the person that you're working with allowing you to do what you need to do?
Right.
So like, let's say, is your son named Jack?
Yes.
So let's say Jack is helping you, right? And let's say it's early in the training, he does snarl, right? You correct it, but then Jack's like, yeah, I'm good. I'm done with that, right? Well, now, even though you corrected it, he's like, but my snarl got you to back away.
Yeah.
Now that works against you.
Yep, I get it.
You see?
Yep.
And I've done this for 16 years, is I do things in a way where I can pretty much call things ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps people. Because, like, let's say if Jack were to join a session with us, and I go, okay, Jack, this is going to happen. If this happens, this is normal. We're still early, right? Blah, blah, blah. Plus, I have tools like gloves. I have the muzzle. I have the same things too, right? That it makes him feel better. So in case something happened, we work through it. We get past it. And then Jack's like, oh, okay, cool. You got a guy that does know what he's doing. I feel comfortable helping. You know?
I get it.
Yes, I've seen all sorts of stuff.
I'm sure you have.
I've seen people who've pushed too much too soon. It just goes south, and then they lose a ton of confidence, and they work against themselves, and then they got to build them back up again. You know, the dog is almost always the easy part.
Right.
Okay. There's nothing with dogs that surprises me now. In 16 years. It's always the human.
Yep.
I could have a human on the first day. They're like gung ho. They're like, yes, let's do it. This was great. And then the next class was like, it was terrible. And like just like flip. I'm like, what do you mean? It was such a good lesson. And you even said it, and then they just flip emotionally. Maybe they heard something, somebody judged them, and then they felt bad.
I'm all about consistency and trying to work this through.
Okay, so, well, who are the people? Your daughter, right?
Daughter-in-law.
Jack.
Yeah, Jack. So
is the daughter-in-law Jack's?
No, he's married too.
Okay.
And actually, he picks on his wife as well.
Okay.
Not as much, like not recently. It's consistently my oldest son's wife, whose name is Grace.
Okay.
And she comes in the same way every single time, even though I've told her not to do it. Like, and I'm like, just don't touch him, don't look at him, don't do that. Just.
So despite,
and then I feel crazy because she's a dog person, a huge dog person, and she doesn't understand why she can't behave that way with him.
So she does this. He shows her that side, but yet she returns to doing it. That's interesting.
And here was another thing that he did. This was, when was it? Last winter when she was home around Christmas time. My kids she stayed over, and my oldest son, Alex, opened the bedroom door. He ran, because he had been scratching. He loves Alex. He had been scratching. He sees her in bed and went crazy, like snarling and she didn't even get out of bed. She was literally, it was just because of her presence there.
Yeah, the association.
Yeah.
I got you.
And he also loves Alex, has never had an issue with him. So I think he's, protecting him in some way. Who knows? I'm not into his head.
Yeah.
But she literally did nothing. She woke up in bed.
Yeah. No, it's most likely just association. Like he knows,
he
recognizes the energy, and he's just like envisioning, like, okay, you're that person. I don't like it.
Yep.
So, okay. Is there anything else that you would need him to do?
That's really it. He's so good. He's house trained. He's good with my other dog. He will listen. He behaves. He's fine on a leash. I have no other issues.
Okay.
It's just,
is he ever off leash?
At these pug parties, he's off leash. He's off leash in my backyard.
Okay.
He'll come when he's called. Even at these pug things, there's 60 pugs running around.
60?
Yes.
It's here in Chicago?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's once a month at St. Michael's in their park. It is hilariously funny. The Windy City Grumble.
St. Michael's, where is that by?
It's just down the street, actually. Just north of North Avenue.
Okay.
Literally down the street.
Yeah,
and
the
a
name sounds
drop
familiar.
to the east. But there's a big fenced-in park.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it's hilarious. But what he'll do is run around, play with other dogs for maybe 5 minutes, find me in the sea of humanity and want to be held for a minute. Then run around again, then come back. And he's good. I do worry that someone's going to try to pick him up.
Yeah.
But so
Nobody's
far,
tried that?
no.
How long have you been going there for?
A year?
Okay.
Yeah.
So at least 12 times then? 'Cause it's
Yeah.
once a month?
Or we don't go in the winter because it's winter
sure,
in
sure.
Chicago. He's probably been like 6 times.
Okay.
And has been totally fine.
Okay.
And there are dogs walking by right now. He hasn't moved.
He's very relaxed. Like, if you didn't tell me these things, I wouldn't assume it, you know?
Right.
But me as a dog trainer, I just naturally ignore dogs.
Right.
Because I'm
Right.
well aware.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
No, I get it.
Okay. So, to address the behavior stuff, we do have to cover some obedience because, again,
Okay.
like I said earlier, that's the foundation
Right.
for everything.
Yep.
Right? The obedience also does have to be reinforced on a regular basis. At least once a day is what I tell everybody. So if you walk him, just reinforce your heel when you walk him.
Right.
Do place at least once a day. Okay?
Right.
Because it keeps everything in effect.
Yep.
It's not like as a human, you could learn something and then when you need it, you just
No, it's
call it
like
at will.
working out. You've got to do it all the
Exactly.
time. Right.
Yes. For dogs, you can correct the behaviors all you want, but if there's no regular routine structure to keep things in play,
Yep.
there's going to always be regression.
It's
okay?
funny because he likes a certain routes. He's comfortable and totally relaxed. But if I put him in a new setting, his immediate reaction is like, should I be afraid of where I am?
Okay.
I mean, walking down the street, he's laying on his belly with his legs.
Oh, yeah. So
Right.
that we can correct with the collar.
Right.
We can fix that.
Right.
Which actually helps him. Because then he learns like that's no longer an out.
Right.
Right. He has to confront
Right.
what's
Right.
making him.
And there was literally nothing. We were alone on the sidewalk. It's like, what are you doing?
Sure. Yeah. When you see that behavior, see if like there was my brain takes like a snapshot, and I go, oh, was there a big bang? Was it a
Right.
jogger?
Right.
Was it a biker that just came behind
Right.
us? Right.
Right.
And it could be the simplest thing, and you're
Right.
like, was it really just that biker?
Right.
Sometimes it can be. Right.
I get it.
Because the dog doesn't see the world like we do. Like you're
Right.
here, I'm here. We see people enjoying the park.
Right.
Right. There's some dogs over there. There's a baseball game.
Right.
There's people driving around. It's a beautiful day. Right.
Right.
Whereas for a dog, it can be like that's a threat. That might be a threat.
Yep.
That dog running might be
Yep.
a threat.
Yep.
Right. They see the world very differently.
Especially since he's so little.
Very daunting. Yeah. Okay. So I'm assuming you're looking for in person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, what's the alternative?
So we have board and trains, daycare and trains in person, which is one-on-one.
Okay.
The pro of an in person is you learn more because I'm training you to train your dog.
Right.
The con would be it's slower because it's me training you to train your dog.
If I boarded him, and that would be great too, because then I wouldn't be there. So
the con to board and train, so pro and con. Pros is I get things done in a short amount of time.
right.
Con is I may not see the behavior. He may not do any, like you could be like, but Jesse, like anytime somebody touches him, he's aggressive. I'm like, great. But like you said, you're around. So if you're not around, I may
Right.
not see it.
Right.
Right. And if I don't see it, I can't work on it.
Okay.
It also takes away the emotional work, so to
Right.
speak. So like, if I'm doing the exercise in front of you and we're working through it together, it's going to be uncomfortable for you.
Right.
Okay. But when that happens later on, when you're working in with Jack or somebody else,
Right.
you've already done it, so you're kind of prepared.
Exactly.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
For me, like I'm very desensitized to this.
Right.
That
Of course.
a dog could be hyper aggressive. Everybody's freaked out and panic, and I'm just like, this is normal.
Yeah.
You know, and I just work through it.
Yep.
So that would be also a con to the board and
Okay.
train.
Okay.
So the board and trains, I get like all the stuff that we need to get done faster. Obedience wise, it's just behavior wise. I may not be able to do any. Like I have a client after you. It's an in-home. His dog is very leash reactive. We saw nothing during the 2 weeks that we had him.
Interesting.
So I'm doing an in-home with him
Okay.
to close that
All right.
gap.
Well, let's see how today goes, and I'll decide what's best.
Yeah. So if you're doing like an in-person, I would probably put you at around 9 classes.
Okay.
Okay. There's going to be 3 that are going to be for the foundation stuff.
Right.
We have to cover heel, which is 2 classes.
Right.
And then I'm going to teach you what's called place command. Okay. Place command is sending the dog to their bed. This is
And
for
he
like.
will do that, by the way. I've got a little pen for him,
Okay.
and if he is acting up, I'll say crate,
Okay.
and he will go.
Okay.
Usually I have to give him a cookie
Okay.
to get to once he's there.
Sure.
But he will go, and then I'll reward him.
Okay. So the way we utilize place in this context would be the one that comes in with a lot of energy
Right.
that you know like he's going to have an issue with, right? Is it gives us a reference point for that.
Right.
Okay. So if she came in and he was acting up, we can correct his reaction to her behavior.
Right.
But then also, let's say she's moving around and he doesn't like that she's moving around. He's isolated.
Yep.
But he's there and he's observing like, okay, we're
Yep.
coexisting.
Yep.
Okay. It's a tool in the toolbox. Because I do get some dogs that there are people that they just don't vibe with.
Right.
And it's a nice like, okay, if you're there, I don't have to worry about you. And then this person also doesn't have to worry about
Right.
you. And then you tell them, give my dog a buffer.
Right.
Right. Because so then we're able to structure things while we're trying to build a relationship.
Right.
Okay. The remaining 6 classes are how do we have a person into the home correctly? How do we introduce them to that person?
Right.
Right. And then how do we facilitate a relationship between him
Right.
and these persons that
Right.
are coming over?
Right.
And that's what takes the most classes.
I get it. And
Okay?
that's what I would want.
Okay. Because so I target the things that I know you need and then the things that are going to be necessary to what you're needing and wanting, right?
Okay.
So like obviously you want to work on this behavior. You would like for him to open up to like your kids and then their spouses. But there has to be some kind of foundation to build from.
Right.
Okay. Now, once we get to the behavioral stage, expect that the classes would be spaced out more.
Okay.
Okay. I might only see you once a month or once every
Right.
2 months.
Right.
Because you have to
Work on it.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So that takes the longest. And then of course, like if there's ever a regression or maybe you made a mistake or somebody moved the wrong way and like there was a lunge, right? Then you can always call me in and be like, okay, what happened here? And then we try to tweak things.
Okay.
Okay. But it's very much towards the end going to progress at your pace.
Right.
So if you're not pressing anything, obviously there's going to be
Right.
no progress.
Right.
Okay. If you did a board and train type option, what the board and train does is I get all the obedience down. If there's some behavioral stuff that pops up, like let's say I have to leash him up or collar him and then he's acting out, obviously I have to correct it. It does give me something to work on.
And
but
he
it is still,
has gotten aggressive, especially when Jack has put his harness on him.
Okay.
And we weren't sure, is it the front door that's doing this? Is it the harness that's doing it? Is it the fact he can do it that's doing it? So he hasn't done that in a while.
Okay.
And my cleaning lady used to house sit for me. She won't get near him.
Okay. Has she had issues with putting the things on him?
When he
as
was a
well?
puppy.
Okay.
And he went crazy, same way.
Okay. But when she's around cleaning, he doesn't care.
Totally fine.
Yeah, just
yeah.
So I'm gonna gamble that it's just all touch sensitivity.
I think
he
it
just
is
doesn't
too.
like people in his space.
I really do.
And if you retract, like he knows he's got you,
Yep.
and then that just incentivizes the behavior
Yep.
even more.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
That's very smart, actually. Absolutely right.
So,
He's figured out he's won.
yeah.
And that's his behavior that's
Yeah.
going to get to winning.
That's why these things get worse.
Yep.
Or they don't go away.
Yep.
Because so like, even like ignoring the behavior is still allowing it.
Right.
Once you start to introduce aversives and like deterrents,
Right.
then the dog's like, okay, do I still want to do this, right?
Right. The consequence
Yes,
part.
but every dog is different. I don't know what his consequence is going to be, right? So that's the other thing about a board and train. Let's say it is 80. Remember, I don't have a problem doing that.
Right.
But then when I return them, and you're like, what was the number? I'm like 80, and you're like, oh my god, right? Like there's no, you have to
Right.
close that gap now.
Right.
Now I do film my board and trains, and I send you a video so you
Right.
see your dog's progress, right? And it's very logical. I don't come in at 80. I come in at 15, and I work my way up.
Exactly, depending upon what he needs.
Yes,
I
and
get
it's all
it.
explained in the video,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
So the pro of board and train is he'd come home with all the obedience down. You still have to catch up to it. You still have to learn
Right,
everything.
right.
But then
But he has the
less for you
basics.
to work on.
Yep.
Now you just work
Yep.
on the behavioral stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So it
And
just,
this is all on your website?
yes, and then
Okay.
Tina will send the information. Okay.
Wonderful.
If you did a board and train, I'd recommend at minimum 2 week, 3 if you wanted. Okay.
Right.
The longer we have them, the more follow-ups you get.
Right.
If you did a 2 week, you get 3 1-hour follow-ups.
Okay.
You can always purchase more if needed.
Okay.
That's what this gentleman did here that I'm going
Okay.
to afterwards. Is if you did the board and train, I send you your videos, you pick them up. You can always have a pickup lesson.
Right.
We cover a few things.
Okay.
You go off, you practice for a couple
Okay.
weeks. Just the obedience stuff.
Okay.
Okay, get a handle on things.
Right.
Then you're like, hey Jesse, I got a good handle on the obedience. Now I'd like to work with like people coming over. That's not going to be in the board and train.
Right.
I come and show you.
Exactly.
Okay.
Right.
There is a $50 upcharge when I do home visits. Just know.
Okay.
Heads up on
Okay.
that. So I do that one, right? Let's say you have and I'll tell you just how people ignore them, but this is how you have them enter. You do that for a couple of weeks, right? And you're like, hey, Jesse, it's been going really well. Now I want to work on introductions, right? Then I come over again, right? Show you how to progress from people coming in to how do we introduce.
Okay.
Sometimes I incorporate food there because food can help.
Of course.
But I don't rely on it.
And they are very food motivated.
Yeah, he's got a good drive. Okay. Now at that point you have utilized your 3, right? Is then if you're like, okay, I want to do the next step because this is where we're stuck, you can always purchase individual lessons or packs.
Okay.
And so that would bring you up. So we're doing 9 if we do in person because we need to cover the base obedience, which is 3, but then gives us 6 classes.
And would I meet you here for the most part?
Anything that we can do here, we can meet here.
Perfect.
Anything that needs to be in home, like people coming over.
Wonderful, we do there.
Introducing people would most likely also be in the home as well.
Perfect.
Because once we get here, there's too much to think about. I've had it where a dog's being aggressive and then someone walks over like, hey, what's going on? And then I got to deal with this person.
No,
you know?
I know. And also in the house, it's realistic. It's where we are.
Yes. The other option would be my facility, which is near the West Loop.
Right.
So during the week, I'm at my facility. On Saturdays, I'm here.
All right.
But then if we need to do like an in-home, Tina just schedules that according to my schedule. But
and I can look at your website and figure out what works.
But and I'll send Tina my recommendations.
Wonderful.
And then she sends them to you.
Wonderful.
She sends you the pricing.
Thank you. Okay.
She sends you the color that I would suggest.
Okay.
And then you pick and choose, right?
Wonderful. And this is an hour. I just have to.
Yeah, we got 15 more minutes.
Okay, perfect.
So
Thank you.
at 11, correct?
Yes.
Yes. We have 15 more.
Okay.
The other questions.
That's kind of it.
Okay.
I mean, you obviously know what you're doing, and it sounds like if I do my part, the success rate's pretty high.
Yes. Now, we cannot make him like people.
I get it.
But there's things that we have that it's
as long as I have the tools to say, this is the dog I own, and this is his behavior, and this is how we're going to manage it.
Yes.
That's really all I need.
Like the stopping on the street, we can stop.
Right.
People reaching down, it's us advocating for him.
And I will always say, 100% say gets a little nippy.
Like, don't touch.
Yep.
I don't care about random strangers, right? Because like I tell clients, like, think about it like as if it was your child. Would you just like let any random person just come and like touch your kid? The answer is always no.
Right.
But for dogs,
I get it too, and especially someone who sees something and has had one of these, or you're like, oh my God. So it happens, and 90% of the time he's fine. 10% I worry about it.
Yeah.
But I can also see his behavior too. Sometimes he'll start slinking a little bit, and then I know he's up to something. It's going to happen.
So that you can correct.
Yep.
So once you have the right tools, because people tend to think of the extreme, oh, my dog's lunging now, right? Which, yes, we correct if that's the case. But a lot of times there's precursors.
Exactly.
Right? So you're actually correcting the thought at that point. So then the dog learns, well, I can't even think about lunging. Right? And then people worry about like, well, then if I correct that, well, then will the dog not give a warning? I go, no. Like
it's just
if
the
it's
behavior.
Extreme, but if you allow the dog to go to 1, they're going to go to 10.
Exactly.
Right? That's what that Mastiff earlier.
Yep.
They were correcting things. They were doing a good job, but they just weren't at the right number. And then once we tweaked a couple of things, they were like, we've never done this before.
Okay.
You know, so it always just comes down to the owner.
I'm happy to do anything. I really am. And obviously, it's like in my profession, I am a professional. In yours, you are. I have people trust me the same way I would trust you.
And keep in mind, this is something that people don't think about, right? On average, what's like the lifespan of a pug?
My female's 14.
14. So he's got, let's say, another 14 years in him, right?
Exactly.
You also want to think long term.
Yep.
And
I want to be able to, and I do board him. There's a guy who lives in my neighborhood who takes dogs into his house. He's never had an issue with him. He's totally fine.
Nice.
With a bunch of dogs, with this guy, no issues whatsoever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But he's never saw anything.
Nope, but he's a dog guy, and he's used to big dogs, and he's not going to tolerate 1 second of this bullshit.
Yeah.
So I think Sheldon knows, like, this is someone I'm not going to get away with anything.
I got you, yeah. And just as FYI for you, if you ever do need it, like let's say something happened where that gentleman wasn't available, any dogs that we've trained, if they've completed a qualifying program, are welcome to come board with us.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
We reinforce the training.
It's great.
It's a
That's
structured
very
routine
helpful.
daycare. It's not a free-for-all where dogs are playing all over the place. It's a
Right,
quiet kennel.
good, because I do travel a lot. So I have a daughter who lives in Europe.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah. I got a dog that's similar to this guy. His name was Snooky. He's a Frenchie.
Okay.
But same thing. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't put a harness on him. You couldn't do all those things, right? Never had a. Well, I mean, we had a problem when we were training him.
Right.
But that's what we were,
Right,
paid
working
for
on
to
it.
do.
Exactly,
Worked on it, and now he
right.
comes to us, and he's easy.
Okay.
But yeah, I can only take you as far as you're willing to go, right?
I get it.
Worst case scenario is he has a really high number. As long as you get over the emotional discomfort of that, we get through it. Everything
Right.
is very logical. We start low, we work
As
our
long
way
as
up.
I know he's not being hurt, I mean, I can tolerate, I mean, I can look at him, and if it doesn't feel cruel to me, it doesn't matter.
It's just a muscle contraction.
Right, exactly.
It's the closest thing that we can get to mimicking the dog bite that
Yep.
doesn't actually cause
Hurt.
the physical harm of
Yep.
the dog bite.
Yep.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
The higher we go, obviously the more uncomfortable it is. I
Right.
felt the collars at max power on my neck. It sucked, but I'm here. I'm still living,
Right, right.
In terms of the collar that I'd recommend for him, he's probably what, 30?
20 pounds.
20 pounds,
Yeah.
okay. I'm getting
He's just chunky.
chunky because he's got the small head and then
Yep.
he gets the bigger.
He's a big boy.
So technically speaking, he'd be like on a what's called a low-powered collar.
Right.
It's meant for a 25-pound dog and under.
Right.
The issue with these lower-powered collars is it's less output. So if his aggression level is greater than what the collar can deliver,
Right.
I've seen dogs override the collar, meaning you could be maxed out, they just don't care
They
about
don't care,
it.
right.
Okay? If you went with a high-powered collar, which is perfectly safe, it just means more from less. Okay?
Right.
I could put it on my 8-pound Chihuahua. It's perfectly fine.
Right.
He just has a ridiculously low number.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Is-
Right. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's sort of this apples to oranges.
Yes,
it
it's just
doesn't
with
matter.
one you're like, okay,
At the
I
top and one you're at the
Bottom.
bottom. That doesn't matter.
The other difference would be the higher power one is a little bit larger, right? Which on a smaller guy can look clunky.
Crazy.
It's like, I don't have it with me, but the box itself is approximately this big.
Right.
Whereas with the smaller one, it's like this big.
Right.
But it's curved, so it does help hide it a little bit.
Does he have to wear that all the
No,
time?
only
Just
when you
when
think you're
people
gonna
are in
need
the.
it.
Yep.
When you're going for a walk, if guests are coming over,
Yep.
right?
Okay.
And there may be a point where, like, let's say he starts getting used to Jack and like his wife and all that stuff, right? Where it's like you begin to trust him without it.
Right.
Okay. But there would be some time.
Right.
There's never a rush to try to move past the collar. 'Cause
Right.
That's what always what people
Come here.
worry about. But I explain it as a cop on a collar. Okay. When
Right.
the cops are present, people
Yep.
drive better. We follow
Yep.
the rules better.
Yep.
Right. The moment the cops are not present,
Right.
people are speeding. Right.
Yep.
Same thing for dogs.
Smart.
It's a cop on a collar.
Okay.
It doesn't mean I'm a poor trainer. It doesn't mean that
No.
the tools or anything.
Right.
It's opportunistic
Right.
behavior.
Right.
If he can get away with it, like
He would,
why not?
of course. It's like my
Exactly.
kids. I know.
Exactly.
Or
we have a
anyone's
2-year-old
kids.
son, and like
Oh,
he's
there you
he's
go.
starting to
Good
press
luck
the
with
boundaries.
that. Just 3 is worse than 2.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And-
say terrible 2s, it's 3.
You really think so? That's funny.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We're seeing a little bit of the terrible
Because
twos.
they're just more independent at 3, or they know what they want at 3.
I gotcha.
Such a cute age,
Yeah.
though.
No, it's so fun right now. Like his little personality coming
Oh,
out.
I love
and my
it.
wife, we just found out she's pregnant again.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. So
I had,
now I'm like, oh.
no, I had 3 kids in 4 years.
Oh, wow,
So
yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
It was just my wife and her brother, and they were within a year of each other.
Oh,
right?
wow, that's close,
So the
too.
2 under 2, whatever
Right.
they say.
You're going to
those-
be fine.
Yeah.
It's all
I'm the
fine.
oldest of 4.
Okay.
So I'm used to being around a lot of kids.
Right. Oh,
but yeah,
congratulations.
thank you so
Very
much.
exciting.
But yeah, nothing I've not ever seen before.
Okay.
Tina will follow up. She will send you the information for both the board and
Perfect.
trains
Thank
and
you.
then the in-person.
Good.
Pick what you think would work best for you. She'll also give you a link to the collar that we recommend. I don't care where you get the collar from. I just
Okay.
care that you do get the correct collar.
Yep.
And if you have any questions, if they pertain to me, she'll send them to
Wonderful.
me. I answer. She
Thank
sends them
you.
back.
I really appreciate this.
Not a problem. She'll send you over the contract. If it's a board and train, the contract is built into our boarding software.
Okay.
Otherwise, she'll send you the contract. Feel free to read it over.
Okay.
Feel free to ask
Okay.
questions.
And
It is
just-
first come, first served.
Just put down whatever you think is appropriate. I'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
And we'll
I
go
send
from
my
there.
recommendations.
Wonderful.
Some clients will ask, like, oh, can I do 3 and then add on 6 later? You could. It would just be more expensive because we don't prorate programs.
And I'm not looking for more expensive. I mean, you are the 4th person that's tried this job.
This isn't the first time I've heard that.
I'm
so.
sure. And in fairness, it's like 2 of the other people were just a few times. The Petco thing was 6 weeks and it was very effective. It was all the basics. So this will be in earnest. We're really going to work hard.
Yeah. And then I have a video that I can have Tina send to you.
Okay.
To give you, it's me working with a client. I'm actually here at the park. Their dog was if I walked up, they were lunging.
Right.
And I worked the dog. I walked the dog.
He's very curious.
Do
you want him down?
That's fine. But you see, I'm just ignoring here.
Yep.
Because all this to me seems just inquisitive.
Yep.
Just curious. But it gives you an idea.
Okay.
And I think that dog ends
Come
up
here,
going up
Shell.
to like 60, 80 in the video.
Okay.
But you see me work them through it.
Okay.
Okay. It just gives you a perspective. People usually envision it being a lot worse than it is. Usually it's not. But every now and then I get a crazy case. Okay. But that's why we start low. We work our way
Yep.
up so that everybody
Yep.
knows like Jesse didn't just come in of guns a-blazing, you know.
Right.
Because obviously that would turn people off.
Right.
Okay. Anything
Perfect.
else?
That's it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure meeting you.
So nice to meet you too.
I'll grab the
Here,
mic
let me
before
give
you
this.
go.
I was going to
Yep.
say, let me give this back to you.
Thank you so much. And again, any questions, let us know. I email Tina and then she'll follow up with you.
Wonderful.
Okay?
Great.
Enjoy the rest of the day.
You too. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.